Move on to this next controversy. It continues over Singapore's National Library Board withdrawing 3 children's books from its shelves because they weren't deemed pro-family. Well, Today Online has the headline, NLB's decision guided by community norms, quoting Minister for Communications and Information Yaacob Ibrahim. Another of its articles reports about an event held yesterday at the atrium of the NLB where some of the withdrawn books were made available to the public to borrow and read. Now, Zhengxi, what do you make of the debate so far? There has been a lot of controversy surrounding this issue, hasn't there?
That's right. Well, I think the fundamental question really is, what is the purpose of a public library? Is it supposed to be a neutral repository for information? Or is it supposed to be some sort of reflection of the majority's values, right? And it's a bit dangerous if your answer is number 2, because then conceivably there might be one day where you are in the minority.
Yes.
And the majority tells you what you should or shouldn't read.
Yes. So are you
and that's
saying
pretty
that
dangerous.
Community norms could be shifting or have been shifting over the past decade?
That's right. And it's a very dangerous proposition to say that you're in the minority today. You don't reflect community norms. So there are certain books you shouldn't read, or there are certain books your children shouldn't be allowed to read. They're not appropriate. Well, what if, and this has happened in the States, religious books start getting challenged? You say, look, your
Bible.
library...
So people had argued the Bible is very
Exactly.
inflammatory.
Exactly.
You don't even have to go that far. You could even just say ghost stories, or anything that supernatural or anything that's like, nothing that you can that divides opinion.
I spoke to a librarian about this, and he said, well, very soon we'll be left with nothing on the shelves except mathematics.
What about the issue?
1 plus 1 equals 2.
Goodness no.
What about the issue about transparency? A lot of attention has been made about how the libraries, not just here but across the world, go about selecting the books that are, on the shelves of children's departments. What do you think as far as the kind of lack of information about how that decision is made?
Yeah, I mean, you're absolutely right. I mean, it's one thing to be opaque about the process of selecting the books that go on the shelves. It's quite another thing to be opaque about why you're destroying a book. And that's the reason why a lot of parents turned up at the National Library yesterday, because they're very concerned about a repository of information funded by taxpayers destroying literary material. You could reclassify it. You could move it to the non-fiction section. You could move it to the adult section or young adults, right? But what I think a lot of people are very shocked by is the spectacle of a library, which is supposed to be a repository of information, destroying a book.
Do you think the gathering yesterday achieved its goals?
I think it was a very important statement that, look, people with young children, families with young children, and these aren't your regular activists, these are concerned parents. These are parents with young children who run around the library, are saying, look, it's up to us as parents to decide what our children read. It's not the business of a public library to be removing books which my kids might have access to, because at the end of the day, I'm the parent, right? I'm responsible. I control what my children consume.
And it's your responsibility as a parent to do that.
Right, and it's not your responsibility to deprive another parent of the right to get that book for free, which her taxpayers' money has funded, from accessing.
So you're not surprised then that prominent authors yesterday disassociated themselves from the statutory board, and some declared they will boycott its events. The reaction so far, what do you make of it?
Well, like I said, I think a lot of it stems from the shock and horror of books actually being destroyed. And there's a great cultural, historical, social taboo against destroying books. And I think in this particular instance, because the National Library is a public institution that a lot of Singaporeans, regardless of where you fall on the community norms debate, have a lot of trust in. So a lot of Singaporeans feel that that trust has been broken.